The story begins with a guy running after a lady and asking her not to leave and why she doesn't fulfill his request. And he has a question. The guy asks the lady not to run away and asks who she is. He has never spoken to her face to face. But he is so interested in finding out information about her. But the lady just smiled at the guy's words and continued to leave. And he will not miss the chance to ask her a couple of questions and will not make a mistake and decided everything. The guy asks the lady why she always appears in his dreams and he can't catch up with her. And he promises not to hurt her, and he is not a villain. The guy begs the lady to stand, and he has not come to terms with the fact that he lost her, and this time he was 100% sure that he will find out everything about the lady there. But when the guy didn't expect it in a crowd of people, he noticed how the system appeared and didn't understand what was happening, and he was delirious in his sleep. He froze in place in surprise. And there are so many unknown factors and he can't take his eyes off the system, and he has a lot of questions. The system started giving out information about people, and it was so strange, and the guy didn't suspect that there was an incredible system in the world. The guy found out that the lady passing by was named Zhao Bingbing and that she weighed 50 kilograms and was 165 centimeters tall, and all her details. The guy glanced at another lady and the system recognized the lady's name as Lo Feng, and her weight was 78 kilograms and she had a lot of fat and protein in her body. The system gave out all the information about the people passing by, and the guy was in complete shock. And how does the system know everything about all the people? And this is scary. Li Shu can't believe it, and he received a unique system, and it is not simple and will help him achieve success if he learns the secrets of the system. But suddenly at that moment the boss started to wake up Li Shu, and when he managed to fall asleep there. And it seems he has a lot of things to do, and that's why he is always sleepy. The boss asked Li Shu if he was okay and that he shouldn't hide secrets from the boss, because she would still find out the truth and she already wanted to know everything. Li Shu didn't expect to see his boss and doesn't remember how he fell asleep and comes to his senses after sleep. And in this reality, he has a handsome boss, and she is a miracle. The boss asked Li Shu that he seemed to have had a nightmare and was sweating all over. She was worried about his health, and if something was wrong, she would call an ambulance. Li Shu told the boss that everything was fine and forgot to turn off the air conditioner. So he was sweating, and it was a little hot there, and that he shouldn't worry about Li Shu. The boss asked Li Shu if she didn't give him a vacation and why Li Shu came there so early. And he starts to scare the boss, and this is a fact. Li Shu told the boss that he had nothing to do at home and that someone would want to buy a private lesson. And why was the beautiful lady sitting alone in the building? The boss told Li Shu that she couldn't even find a fly in her fitness club, not to mention the customers who wanted to buy private lessons from the trainer. The boss knew for a long time and she needed to find a guy who would definitely marry her and cook dinner. But the boss decided to open a fitness club. Li Shu told the boss that many people wanted to marry her, but she always refused. And the boss remembers that the rich people only wanted her. But at that very moment, the boss threw a towel in Li Shu's face and he often, without understanding the situation, starts talking nonsense. And sometimes it irritates her so much. The boss asks Li Shu to take a shower and he is so sweaty and to knock before entering because the sign is broken and not to ask questions. Li Shu went into the locker room and he will follow the boss's advice and take a shower, and she is absolutely right, and he sweated while sleeping and saw strange dreams. The guy started taking off his clothes and his name is Li Shu. And he recently graduated from college, and Li Shu has dreams and goals that he always strives for. Li Shu works as a personal trainer at a fitness club. And the beauty he was talking to is his boss Su Liang, and she often supports him. When they opened the fitness club, thanks to Su Liang's perfect body, there were a lot of people in their fitness club and they went to see Liang. But when Su Liang's boss stopped letting people look at her, people stopped going to the fitness club and Su Liang's business began to fail. But what's worse, competitors lured their coaches away by giving them more money. And less than half a month later, he was left alone in the club. Moreover, these trainers took away many of their clients, and no one wants to work out in their fitness club, and they and Su Liang must bring people back. Li Shu knows that there are only a few old members left in Su Liang's fitness club, but he won't let the boss close the club in the future. Li Shu said he had to help boss Su Liang's fitness club return to its former glory, and suddenly the system received a request from owner Li Shu. And at that very moment, Li Shu was transported to another reality and he did not understand anything and was waiting for someone to explain to him all the information about the place. Li Shu looked around and wanted to understand the truth, and it seemed that this was not a hallucination, and he always felt different when he was in a dream. And at that moment, Li Shu heard a voice behind him, and the lady said hello to the owner in a perfect system and she will answer his questions. Li Shu turned around sharply and he had to be careful. And he didn't know what to expect from these people and how he ended up in this place. Everything was so strange. Li Shu saw a beautiful young lady behind him, and she was talking to him politely and seemed ready to discuss everything, and he was not in any danger. The lady told the owner Li Shu that she is his system assistant Lulu, and he is safe. And she asked the owner not to be nervous and Lulu will help. Li Shu asked the lady if she was Lulu and how he ended up there and didn't understand what was going on, and let Lulu not remain silent and tell about everything. But Lulu asks the owner of Li Shu to be prepared, and soon he will know everything, and there is no need to draw conclusions so early, and everything has its time. And this is so important. Lulu's assistant told Li Shu that she would launch the system for him, and Li Shu had not yet realized what system Lulu wanted to launch. And at that very second, Li Shu grabbed Lulu by the hand and asked him to wait and first tell her where he was, and then he would allow Lulu to start the system. But Lulu's assistant began to disappear, and Li Shu did not have time to ask her many details, and believes that in the future she will answer everything as promised. Li Shu realized he had returned to reality, and Lulu's assistant, without thinking twice, actually transferred him back to their world, and that Lulu was hiding. Li Shu doesn't know what kind of perfect system this is, and Lulu's assistant didn't answer any of the questions there, and where she's rushing to, or is this a dream? And at that very moment, a lady came into the locker room and asked Coach Li Shu if everything was okay with him, and she heard a crash, and it scared her a lot. Li Shu realized that this was not a dream or hallucination, because the system immediately began to find out information about the visitor to the fitness club and learns the data. The system recognized the lady's name as Wang Mei Mei, and her weight is 74 kilograms, and Mei Mei is suitable for the 104th set of exercises. Li Shu is shocked by the unique system, and it is incredible, and will help find an approach to any client, and he will select exercises for everyone. 10 minutes later, Wang Mei Mei came out of the fitness club, and Li Shu did not let her down. And it was not for nothing that her intuition told her to go to the Suliang Fitness Club. And then her friend appeared behind Wang Mei Mei and said, "Good morning," and she wanted to ask something and hoped her friend would take the time. The lady asked Wang Mei Mei if she was a member of Suliang Fitness Club and wanted to know what Li Shu was like, and she wanted to find a place to exercise. Wang Mei Mei told her friend at the Suliang Fitness Club that they already had better quality exercise equipment and a professional trainer. But someone objected to her. Another trainer told the ladies that he previously worked at Suliang's Fitness Club, and their trainer Li Shu always touches the ladies, and that they should go to another club. Wang Mei Mei told the bastard to stop lying, but the coach said he wasn't lying to her. And if Li Shu was good, why had Wang remained fat after 2 years? A friend asked Wang Mei Mei if she had been going to the fitness club for 2 years already, and she thought Mei Mei had only recently started her training. The coach took the lady with him, and Wang Mei Mei can continue to go to Li Shu, and he will select unique training and will definitely help Mei. Wang Mei Mei is angry at the stupid coach, and he brazenly insulted her there, and that he allows himself, and the bastard embarrassed her friend to go to the Suliang gym. Wang Mei Mei looked in the mirror, and it was her fault. And it was clearly because of her that the reputation of the Suliang Fitness Club was worse, and she hadn't changed in all this time. Wang Mei Mei went back to Suliang's Fitness Club, and she really hasn't lost any weight, and she needs to stop going to Suliang's gym. Wang Mei Mei went into the locker room and told Coach Li Shu that it seemed like she needed to stop going to training, and she had a good reason. But Li Shu did not listen to Wang Mei Mei and asked not to say more. And Li wants to ask one very important question for his beloved client. Coach Li Shu asked Wang Mei Mei if she would agree to train with him for free, and he sincerely wants to help Mei Mei lose weight. Wang Mei Mei is confused and wonders why Coach Li Shu is inviting her to his training, and at such an awkward moment she wants to agree to it. Coach Li Shu guarantees Wang Mei Mei this time that she will be so surprised that she will soon be able to change her sports clothes, and it is true. Wang Mei Mei decided that she would discuss everything with Coach Li Shu later, and he was so inspired by the training, and she did not want to ruin the coach's mood. Boss Su Liang asked Li Shu to answer her question, and she heard the whole dialogue between Coach Li Shu and Wang Mei Mei, and it is so unlike Li Shu. Boss Su Liang asked Li Shu if he wanted to seduce Wang Mei Mei and sell his private lessons, and Boss Su saw through his plan. But Li Shu told Su Liang's boss that she thinks a lot, and he remembered a couple of special fat-burning methods that would be suitable for Mei Mei. Boss Su Liang told Li Shu. When Wang Mei Mei came to their club, she bought his classes and what the result was, and Coach Li was raving there. Boss Su Liang said Li Shu didn't lose a single pound during the entire time of Wang Mei Mei, because she often ate with him and gained 2 pounds, and that's a fact. Li Shu told Su Liang's boss that he was serious this time and thought that if Mei Mei trained according to the method, she would lose 1 kilogram a day. Boss Su Liang sighed, and she doesn't believe that Coach Li Shu's method will help Wang Mei Mei lose weight, let alone a kilogram a day. Boss Su Liang told Li Shu that he continues to lie to her, and the coach wants to prove it to her, and is ready to bet, and Boss Su Liang will be convinced that he was right. Boss Su Liang told Li Shu that she agreed with him and what they were arguing about, and that she was absolutely sure that Wang Mei Mei would not lose weight from their training. Coach Li Shu smiled, and he has a reason for which he is willing to take risks, and he has long been waiting for the moment when he and Boss Su will argue. Coach Li Shu asked Boss Su Liang if she would agree to swim with him if he won the bet, and the coach fantasizes, and Boss Su is beautiful. Li Shu is so happy, and Boss Su Liang always keeps his word and never deceives him, and he is ready to swim with her all day, and he has one request. Boss Su Liang told Li Shu that she will fulfill his wish without any problems, and Coach Li Shu is shocked. And he joked, but Boss Su agrees, and it's cool. Boss Su Liang asked Li Hu how Wang Meimei could lose a kilogram a day, even if it was still impossible to dream about in their world. And then the system learned all the information about the body of Boss Su Liang, and the system will help the owner Li Shu win the argument and help Boss Su. Li Shu realized that this was definitely not a hallucination or a dream, and he received a system, and it will help him achieve success, and he will surprise Boss Su Liang in his studies. Li Shu made his decision, and thanks to the system, nothing is impossible. And Boss Su Liang will soon be convinced of everything and understand that Li is 100% right. Coach Li Hu told Wang Meimei that he would give her instructions after studying her physical condition and a set of exercises created just for her. Li Shu told Wang Mei to do 50 jumps on the rope, 80 leg lifts, and 20 squats per set. Wang Meimei was surprised by the instructions of Coach Li Shu, and she asked if all this really needed to be repeated, and she was not used to such classes. Coach Li Shu told Wang Meimei that she was right, and that she needed to repeat all the exercises not just once, but 4 times, and Mei would lose weight without any problems. Boss Su Liang thought that fat-burning workouts clearly help them lose weight quickly, and that the excess weight consists of water, and some of it is fat. Boss Su Liang knows that losing 1 kilogram in 2 hours is a myth, and Li Shu was wrong, and it is impossible to lose weight, and Li Shu is delirious, and she feels sorry for them. Boss Su Liang thought that even if Li Shu loses for the sake of his hard work, she is willing to swim with him. And this is a reward for not giving up. Coach Li Shu glanced at his watch and saw that it was 10 in the morning, and he and Wang Meimei still had plenty of time, and she would lose 1 kilogram without any problems. After an hour and a half, Coach Li Shu continues to push Wang Meimei, and she trains without rest, and so soon, Mei will notice the result. Wang Meimei thought it was strange, and she felt tired all over her body, but there was no exhaustion, and Li Shu's training was just right for her. Li Shu asks Wang Meimei not to be lazy and knows her body has not reached its limit, and ordered her to go on a treadmill and stretch her leg muscles. Wang Meimei wants to cry, and she realized that Coach Li Shu is not a man but a monster, and why she agreed to Li Shu's intensive training. Li Shu felt sorry for Wang Meimei and asked Wang to change her clothes and wash herself, and then come there and they will measure her weight and everything will be fine with the weight. Wang Meimei agrees with Coach Li Shu, and the training was exhausting for her. But she had a great day with him and feels like she lost weight in a day. After some time, Wang Meimei came into the room to measure her weight, and she was confident in the methods of Coach Li Shu and tried to help Mei as best he could. Boss Su Liang asked Li Shu what he was afraid of and whether he really thought that Wang Meimei could lose 1 kilogram in 2 hours of training. Li Shu listens to her, and Su Liang's boss tells her friend there's nothing wrong with wanting to lose half a kilogram. But 1 kilogram is crazy. Li Shu told Su Liang's boss that hope dies last, and for some reason he felt like he was familiar with the 104th set of exercises. Coach Li Shu wondered if he really knew the information about the 104th training complex and where he got the information from. Boss Su Liang told Li Shu that if he asked her sincerely, she would go swimming with him. And then Wang Meimei came out to them and wanted to tell them something. Wang Meimei apologizes to Coach Li Shu if she made her and Su Liang wait unintentionally and was just checking the weight in the room. Boss Su Liang was completely shocked and asked Wang Meimei how she lost so much weight, and compared to the past, Wang had changed noticeably. Wang Meimei stepped on the scale, and she has already lost 2.5 kilograms after a special training session with Li Shu, and he is incredible. Li Shu told Wang Meimei that she had lost 2 pounds of fat, and Wang couldn't believe her eyes and asked the trainer if this was all true. Boss Su Liang thought it was incredible, and Li Shu made a man lose more than a kilogram of fat in 2 hours without damaging his body. Boss Su Liang noticed how pleased Wang Meimei was, and didn't Li Shu understand that he had performed a miracle and no one could have achieved this? Boss Su Liang asks Wang Meimei to come back and report in person if she feels unwell, while her friend discusses training with another coach. A friend was shocked to see Wang Meimei, and she was not the same as in the morning, and it was impossible. And the trainer asked how she lost so much weight in 1 day. Coach Li Shu asked the lady if she was Wang Meimei's friend, and if they had something to discuss with her, and he was ready to help any lady, and it was his duty. Boss Su Liang asked the lady if she wanted to join their fitness club and train with Wang Meimei, and she would immediately notice the results. Wang Meimei's friend told Su Liang's boss that she already wants to sign up for an annual membership, and she doesn't care if anyone touches her. Li Shu told Wang Meimei that their fitness club is thriving thanks to her, and from today on, she will become the hallmark of their fitness club. Wang Meimei hugged Coach Li Shu tightly and thanked him for everything, and she will never forget how he helped her lose weight and will remember everything forever. At this time, at the Linhai Hotel, the news is talking about their official announcement that the star of the film that the legend will be filming will be played by Li Qingyi. The reporter asked Li Qingyi why the director gave her the role despite the intense selection process, and why Li Qingyi is an excellent dancer. Li Qingyi continues to train, and yoga helps her stay in shape, and she will silently and persistently achieve her goals, and this is her goal. But suddenly at that moment, Li Qingyi felt pain, and every time she practices dancing, her back hurts the next day. Li Qingyi doesn't know why this is, but she was injured and she clearly didn't expect problems at a critical moment and she can't move. Li Qingyi struggled to get her phone out, and if people found out about her injury, her career would be over, and she called and asked Katie if she could help her. At this time, everything is quiet at the Suliang Fitness Club, and trainer Li Xiu is never discouraged and wants to help people keep fit. And this is important. Boss Su Liang is sitting at the computer, and Li Xiu asked Sister Su Liang what she was doing, because they had no business these days, and he remembers. Boss Su Liang told Li Xiu that she is calculating how many shares she owes him. And Li Xiu's friend has done a lot for the fitness club, and the boss appreciates it. Li Xiu was surprised by the words of Su Liang's boss and asked why his sister was giving him shares and why Su Liang wanted such a talent to stay in her club. Boss Su Liang asked Li Xiu if he thought she would cry if Coach Li ran away to another gym with the beautiful ladies. Li Xiu told Su Liang that he has a handsome young boss and he will never even look into the eyes of other ladies, and then someone entered the office. The lady told Coach Li Xiu that her name is Katie, and she is Li Qingyi's agent. They want to train at the Liang Fitness Club, but everything is confidential. Katie asked Su Liang's boss if it was possible, and the boss said they were fine with it and would have no problem keeping Li Qingyi's privacy there. Li Qingyi said good afternoon to her colleagues, and Li Xiu thought about Qingyi's voice, and it was much better than in the movies, and she was as refined as the moon. Coach Li Xiu continues to look at Li Qingyi, and he is obliged to help her and will not abandon her in trouble. And thanks to the system, he will find out the cause of her injuries. The system informed Li Xiu's owner that Li Qingyi had lower back pain, and if she didn't treat it in time, the disease would get worse and she wouldn't be able to dance. Lulu stands next to Li Xiu and congratulates the master on integrating his ideal system and will become the first-generation master of the system. Li Xiu is shocked and why he ended up in this place, but Lulu asks him not to be nervous, and Li Xiu's owner is in a special place where time freezes. Li Qiu wondered if the system could stop time and how powerful it was, and asked Lulu what was going on with the special system. Lulu said it was a perfect system, and after checking, the system chose Master Li as the first master of the new generation. Li Xiu thought maybe Lulu wanted to test the system, and asked what price he should pay for owning a special system. Lulu asks Li Xiu not to worry, and the ideal system is worthless, and when the owner helps other people, he will get points for it. Lulu told Li Xiu that ideal points are like currency, and the owner can spend the points in the system shopping mall, and there are special things there. Lulu told Li Xiu, the way to do this is to help people achieve their dreams of an ideal body, and then Li Xiu will receive system points for helping her. Lulu showed the owner Li Xiu the store, and he could buy things there at a good price, and Li Xiu was shocked and asked if there were really that many things. Li Xiu sees these strange and unheard of things for the first time, and Lulu told him that if he wants, the owner can buy anything for special glasses. Coach Li Xiu is delighted, and if they have these things, they will attract big clients like Li Qingyi to their fitness club. But isn't there a catch? Lulu told the owner Li Xiu that he dreams of becoming a good coach and giving personal lessons. But isn't that too boring for him? Lulu asked Li Xiu if he would like to lead the knights and martial artists, but the coach didn't understand what she was talking about. Lulu told Li Xiu that he is a man with a unique system and is destined to become one of the few great people, and Li Qingyi will love Li Xiu. Li Xiu came back to reality and said, good afternoon to the lady, and his name is Li Xiu, and he is a personal trainer at Suliang Fitness Club, and he is glad to see you. Li Qingyi wondered why Li Xiu was so calm and why ordinary people were so worried, and asked her for an autograph, and maybe Li doesn't watch movies. Li Xiu told the lady that he knows that her name is Li Qingyi, and Qingyi is a singer and actress. But Li Xiu does not forget Lulu's words and does not flatter Qingyi for everything. Li Qingyi is at a loss, and maybe her charm isn't working so well, and Coach Li Xiu didn't pay attention to her, and why did he do that? Boss Su Liang asks Lady Li Qingyi to go and pour herself some water, and soon Coach Li Xiu will give her instructions, and they will train individually. Li Qingyi is still in shock, and one ignores her charm and the other brazenly and without principles crushes with aura. And what did she do wrong by coming there? But when no one expected it, another coach took the water from Su Liang's hands and he said, Katie has a special drink for Li Qingyi, and it tastes better. And then the coach threw the water into the trash can and told his friends that he was Miss Li Qingyi's personal trainer. And as a trainer, he was obliged to inquire about the club's equipment. The coach asked his colleague Li Xiu, who would be responsible for Li Qingyi's injury during training, and whether it was Ms. Li's responsibility to avoid injury. Li Xiu learned from Coach Ma Li that his muscles and body are weak, and the coach seems strong. But this is plastic surgery, and he is clearly not a professional. Li Xiu learned about Ma Li's kidney failure and plastic surgery, and how the star's personal trainer Li Qingyi can be so weak. Ma Li told Coach Li Xiu that someone might hide a hidden camera in the gym to secretly film Li Qingyi, and he would check it personally. Li Xiu is angry and asked Coach Ma Li what he means, and Ma Li is not sure that everything is clean and why Li Xiu is so worried, and maybe he is guilty. Ma Li told Miss Su Liang that he suspects that there are so few guests in her fitness club because Coach Li Xiu is hiding something from her, and that is a fact. Su Liang told Ma Li that there were few people in their fitness club, But that had nothing to do with him, and she realized that if it weren't for Li Qingyi, she would have kicked him out. Boss Su Liang thought that if Coach Ma Li said that her fitness club was too small, then his family would lose one member, and Ma Li remembered something. Personal trainer Ma Li suggested that Miss Li Qingyi go to another club, and that there are professionals in other fitness clubs, and they will help Miss Li. Li Qingyi started to leave. And if the question of verification became a problem, she did not want to stay, and it was better to find a quiet place to train. But suddenly, Coach Li Shu told Li Qingyi that if her lower back pain continues, the root of the problem will remain. And this is true. Li Shu told Li Qingyi that her spinal erector muscles were already tense, and he had a way to solve the problem, but he had to trust her. Li Qingyi is surprised, and how does Coach Li Shu know the cause of her injuries, and will this affect her career? And no one except her family knew about her injury. Molly asked Li Shu what kind of back pain Li Qingyi was talking about, and she understood that the trainer who had been with her for 3 years had not noticed a back injury. Li Xingye asked Coach Li Shu how he knew that she had lower back pain, and could Li explain all the information, and she was so interested. Li Shu told Li Qingyi that with her professional experience, it would be easy to tell if she had lower back pain, and Ma Li's personal trainer should know about the injury. Ma Li, in a rage, grabbed Li Qingyi by the scruff of the neck and asked him what he was talking about, and that he had been a personal trainer for popular stars for many years and was not mistaken. Li Shu grabbed Coach Ma Li's hand tightly and asked if he didn't believe his words and called him a liar, and that someone would be in trouble. Ma Li is completely shocked. And why does Coach Li Shu have such a strong grip? And it is difficult for him to release his hand from the grip, and it seems he has angered Li Shu. Li Shu asked Ma Li how a person with kidney problems already calls himself an excellent personal trainer, and clearly did not notice the pain in his lower back. Ma Li told Li Shu to let him go, and what problems he had with his kidneys, and he had to be careful with his words or he would sue for slander. Li Shu told Ma Li that he has kidney problems, and it is obvious from his dull complexion and weak body, and he guarantees that he is sure of it. Li Shu thought about Ma Li, and it is difficult to become a personal trainer for stars without experience, and the idiot missed a good chance and doubts Li Shu's words. Li Shu asked Ma Li if he was setting people up and let them check everything and do a quick 1-hour fat-burning workout in the gym. Li Shu asked Coach Ma Li if he was afraid of damaging his large muscles during training and let him admit to the problem. Coach Ma Li is very nervous, and Li Qingyi remembered that Coach Ma Li did not train intensively for 6 months and did not strain his muscles. Li Qingyi thought that Coach Ma Li was always standing by and guiding her. And if what Li Shu said was true, it meant that Ma Li had always been lying. And then Li Qingyi asks personal trainer Ma Li to stop arguing and that he is obliged to return first and show that he is better prepared for the load than them. Katie has been deceiving Li Qingyi for 3 years and has broken her trust, and she can't get rid of personal trainer Ma Li in front of everyone at the club. Coach Ma Li left the fitness club, and did Coach Li Shu really want to take his place and become Li Qingyi's personal trainer, and he made such a mistake? Coach Ma Li decided that he would not let Li Shu go and make sure that he was weak and showed character in front of Li Qingyi and wanted to attract her attention. Li Qingyi told Coach Li Shu that they doubted him and asks for forgiveness for this and asks him to become her coach and cure her illness. Li Shu told Li Qingyi, of course he will help her, and this is not called treatment but exercise. And although he is not a doctor, he guarantees the lady treatment. A few minutes later, Katie's manager brought Li Qingyi some water, and she hopes that the actress will soon recover and be able to play her role. Li Qingyi said thank you to Katie's manager, but Katie asks Miss Li to be careful and wants to warn her about special training there. Katie asks Li Qingyi not to be careless just because she is beautiful, and if Coach Li Shu starts acting up, let him call her immediately, and this is important. Li Qingyi told Katie's manager that she was so worried, but Li believed that Coach Li Shu was a professional and would not dare to rudely pester her. Li Qingyi noticed one detail and told manager Katie that her eyes were too low and that Coach Li Shu was really that handsome. Li Shu wanted to approach Li Qingyi, but boss Su Liang called a friend and warned that she would always pay attention to the club's private room. Boss Su Liang told Li Shu that if he dared to fool around with Li Qingyi, he should consider himself a corpse, and she would not spare him for these sins and would fire him. Li Shu asked boss Su Liang if she really thought he was that bad, and Su Liang was much brighter than Li Qingyi, but he never pestered boss Su. And at that very moment, boss Su Liang stepped on Li Shu's foot and let her not say that, and she doesn't want to listen to nonsense, and why compare with Li Qingyi? Li Shu told his boss that he was in so much pain and that he would go to class later. But Su Liang said that if he hit on her, she would make him look like Katie. And then manager Katie appeared behind Coach Li Shu and asked the coach if he called her, and she thought that he wanted to discuss something. Katie's manager told Coach Li Shu that his muscles are so strong and she wants to get a private lesson from him, and Li will definitely not become like Katie. Coach Li Shu came into the room and said to Li Qingyi, "Thank you for waiting for him without any problems, and is she ready to start the treatment training?" Li Qingyi wonders if her clothes are too revealing, and she wore the same thing when Ma Li trained her and is used to it and ready for it. Coach Li Xiu told Li Qingyi that they would start training then, and realized that Qingyi had an incredible figure and she was tempting and attracted anyone. Coach Li Xiu asks Li Qingyi to lie on her back with her arms at her sides, and she must first trust him, and then the result will soon come. Coach Li Xiu asks Li Qingyi to spread her feet shoulder-width apart, and he believes 100% in Li Qingyi's potential to overcome the disease. Coach Li Xiu asks Li Qingyi to slowly raise her hips and breathe at the same pace, and everything will be fine, and the lady's lower back pain will disappear. Coach Li Xiu wants Li Qingyi to focus on the point and try to lift it. But why is Li Qingyi ashamed of all the training? Li Xiu told Li Qingyi that she was doing everything right and asked her to tense up and hold this position for 10 minutes. And he was pleased with Qingyi. Li Qingyi was shocked by Coach Li Xiu's request and asked why she had to stand in this position for 10 minutes, and it was already so long. Li Qingyi's waist hurts a lot and she is shaking, but she endures the pain, and Li Xiu gave her intense training and she will give it her all with him. Li Qingyi asked Coach Li Xiu how much time had passed and she was dying, and she had never been in such pain and he had other training. But Coach Li Xiu told Li Qingyi that only 2 minutes had passed, and she was completely shocked by Coach Li's words. And could it really be that only 2 minutes had passed? Li Qingyi wants to give up and she can't hold out, and her waist seems to be about to break and she can't endure Li Xiu's intense training. Coach Li Xiu lightly grabbed Li Qingyi's back and said, "There is one rule. You can't stop training, otherwise it won't cure her illness." Coach Li Xiu asks Li Qingyi to think about the pain that has tormented her for so many years, and does she really want to give up and think about everything again? Coach Li Xiu asks Li Qingyi not to be afraid and to trust him, and nothing will happen to her, and he will guarantee the safety of her back today. Li Qingyi agrees with Coach Li Xiu, and he asks her to concentrate on her hips and relax her waist muscles, but not to rush because it is so difficult for her. Coach Li Xiu told Li Qingyi that she must try everything and find a method that suits her, and he believes in her talent 100%. Li Qingyi thought it was strange, but Coach Li Xiu's words seemed incredible to her, and it seemed like she no longer had the aching pain in her lower back. Li Qingyi has perseverance, and if she turns into another person, she is afraid she won't be able to withstand it. Li Xiu said, "There are 10 seconds left." Coach Li Xiu glanced at the timer and said, "Lady Li Qingyi has 5 seconds left, and Li has endured so many trials, and Li is a true warrior." Actress Li Qingyi wants to cry but must be strong, and Coach Li Xiu said there are 3 seconds left and she will finish the exercise. Actress Li Qingyi can't handle the strain anymore, and Coach Li Xiu told her it's time and she can stop straining her back so much. Coach Li Xiu asked Miss Li Xiu if she was okay, and she seemed exhausted, but not all people can endure 10 minutes of pain. Li Qingyi told Coach Li Xiu that she wanted to drink some water first, and he asked her not to stand up right away, otherwise she might lose her balance in her leg. And at that very moment, Li Qingyi began to fall on Coach Li Xiu and asked him to be careful. And the coach realized that it was not in vain, that he warned the actress so. Li Qingyi came to her senses and almost lost consciousness and realized that she had lost control of her movements and fell on Coach Li Xiu, and she was so ashamed. Li Qingyi is horrified and asks the coach for forgiveness, and her legs are numb. And Li Xiu said everything is fine. And Xiu asked Miss Li how her waist is. Li Qingyi told Coach Li Xiu that he was absolutely right, and her waist was already really relaxed, and there had been no feeling of lightness for a long time, and it was a miracle. Li Qingyi was so happy and asked the coach what to do next, and if she had known Li Xiu earlier, he would have relieved her lower back pain long ago. Coach Li Xiu told Li Qingyi that he would give her a massage next, and that her lower back muscles were tense and she needed a massage, and that it would relieve the pain. Li Qingyi is completely shocked by the words of Coach Li Xiu, and does he really want to personally give her a massage? And she is embarrassed, but she completely trusts them. Since Li Qingyi was little, this is the first time a man has touched her, and her family has always looked after her with all their might everywhere. Coach Li Xiu asks Li Qingyi to breathe deeply, and the actress remembers she had a slightly intimate shoot, so she arranged for a stunt double. But Li Qingyi realized that Li Xiu's technique was professional and comparable to a professional massage therapist, and she could hardly avoid making sounds there. The system showed Coach Li Xiu unique training, and he knows which points to press on Li Qingyi's back to get rid of the disease. Li Xiu realized that this system is universal and amazing, and he only needs to follow the instructions of the system to help Lady Li Qingyi. Coach Li Xiu pressed on specific points on actress Li Qingyi's back, and he will complete the special training method, and the lady will feel lighter. Coach Li Xiu pressed the second point on Li Qingyi's back, and she didn't suspect that she had so many problems and that Coach Ma was to blame for everything. Actress Li Qingyi started screaming, and it was too exciting, and she didn't know that Master Li Xiu had so many hidden talents and was unique. Li Qingyi thought that wherever Coach Li Xiu pressed on her body, it already stimulated her body and was like an electric shock to her nerves. Coach Li Xiu exhaled and barely kept up with the points that the system showed and asked Li Qingyi to relax, and the coach finished the massage. But actress Li Qingyi no longer wants to leave there and asked Li Xiu if this is all, and maybe there are other trainings and she will learn the lessons. Coach Li Xiu told Li Qingyi, "It's over. or she wants him to continue intensive training and is glad that she likes the methods. Actress Lee Ching-yi instantly gave up Li Shu's intense training and said she had enough training for today, and she really wanted a special massage. Coach Li Shu asks Lee Ching-yi to drink some water and get up and walk around, and she knows and doesn't need to be reminded. And she remembered everything the first time. Actress Lee Ching-yi runs on a treadmill, and Coach Li Shu really helped her, and she was lucky to find the perfect coach, and she appreciates the care. Lulu congratulated Li Shu, and he helped Lee Ching-yi to go towards his dream and got 12 perfect points by giving instructions to Lee Ching-yi, and it's cool. Lulu told the owner Li Shu that this is all she can buy in the store for 12 perfect points, and she asked the owner not to rush there. Li Shu saw a body enhancer and inner armor with no restrictions and a speed enhancer in the store and asked why there were restrictions. Lulu told Master Li Shu that the items that limit the quantity of purchases are all consumables, and that is why the system indicated them. Lulu said, for example, medicine improves the body, and no matter what it will have its limits. This is because of the human body, and these are facts. Unlimited use of drugs that improve the body does not always strengthen the body, and the drug will lose its effect on the owner. Li Shu wants all these things, but 12 perfect points are not enough. And how to solve the problem, and he has a couple of options to solve the troubles. Li Shu asked Lulu if he could check bills and express expenses like on a credit card, and he was interested in knowing the potential of the system. Lulu told Master Li Shu that of course this won't work and the owner really wants to buy these things and must work hard and earn points. Li Shu asks Lulu to stop talking, and now he doesn't need points, and in the future he will earn a lot of system points and buy all their products. Lulu told Master Li Shu that if he needed anything, the boss should immediately wake her up in his head, and Lulu is always ready to help. Coach Li Shu must find a way to earn more points from Li Ching-yi, and he will improve her health and buy system goods, and this is the goal. Actress Li Ching-yi runs on a treadmill and sings songs, and today she is fine and her back pain is gone thanks to Coach Li Shu. Boss Su Liang told Miss Ching-yi that she seemed to be in a good mood, and Coach Li Shu did not disappoint Sister Li and was able to correct the situation. Li Xingyi said a huge thank you to Su Liang, and Coach Li Shu really helped her and gave her a surprise, and she didn't expect this from Coach Li. Actress Li Chingyi asked Miss Su Liang what kind of person she thinks Li Shu is, and she wants to know important information about the coach. Boss Su Liang doesn't understand what Miss Li Chingyi wants to know when she tells her what kind of person Coach Li Shu is, and she can't answer the question. Li Qingyi thinks Coach Li Shu has a unique talent that clearly deserves a higher development platform. And what does Boss Su think? Boss Su Liang remembered that although Li Shu said something like this, she wants to understand whether this means that Li Qingyi wants to lure Li Shu away. Li Shu asked the ladies what they were talking about, and if they didn't mind, they would have another interlocutor. And Li Qingyi didn't mind but was thinking about Su Liang. Boss Su Liang thought how Li Shu could miss such a good chance, and told Li Qingyi that she and Li Shu are just friends and let him remember the fact. Li Qingyi thanked Coach Li Shu for curing her back, but he was happy to help and asked the actress to give the coach 2 more autographs later. Li Qingyi told Li Shu that he is her personal trainer, and how much does an autographed photo cost, and what does he think about $1 million annual salary. Li Shu was surprised, and is the actress ready to give $1 million a year? And Qingyi is not joking and is ready to hire him as a personal trainer, and he impressed her so much. Li Qingyi told Coach Li Shu that if this wasn't enough, she would add more. And normal people can't give up a chance for fame and money. But Coach Li Shu told Li Qingyi that she only needed to pay for the lesson and could forget about the annual salary, and he was not interested in her condition. Li Qingyi asked Coach Li Shu if he planned to stay in this fitness club for the rest of his life, or if it was because of Miss Su Liang and her boss. Coach Li Shu told actress Li Qingyi that part of the reason is that everyone has a love for beauty and likes Boss Su's fitness club. Li Qingyi asked Li Shu's coach what if she hired Su Liang, but Li Shu told the actress that the boss would never agree, and he knew her. Boss Su Liang thought that as soon as Li Shu left the fitness club, there would be no one left except her, and she would need to hire trainers again, and this was important. Li Shu told the beauty Su Liang that she seemed to be in a bad mood. If something was wrong, let her tell her about it, and the coach would make her happy. Su Liang asked Li Shu when he planned to leave, and the coach asked her friend if Li Qingyi had already told her about her plans, and this was a disaster. Li Shu asked Su Liang's boss why he should leave, and he couldn't leave their wonderful boss Su Liang and promised her a lot. Li Shu told Su Liang's boss that he had signed the share transfer contracts and would never leave her alone, and that they were both in the same boat with the boss. Boss Su Liang told Li Shu that he seems to consider himself kind because he didn't abandon his friend in difficult times and stayed to help the fitness club. Li Xingye and Katie look at Su Liang and Li Shu, and these two are clearly not like ordinary friends, and they are in a serious relationship, but they are hiding. Katie told Coach Li Shu that she and Li Qingyi have a show that will be filmed a little later, and it's time for them to say goodbye, and thank you for helping Qingyi. Li Shu told Katie and Li Qingyi's manager that they would see each other next time, and that she should take care of Li Qingyi, and that she should think about her health. Shu told Su Liang's boss that they weren't expecting any other guests, and why don't they go swimming, and he remembers someone promising to swim with him. Boss Su Liang told Shu that he always thinks only about this, and if he doesn't want to see a dirty pool, he should wait a couple of days, and this is important. But at that very second, two hooligans entered the fitness club and said that it seemed they had made a mistake, and that they had to ask the information 1,000 times. The bully asked his friend if it was a joke, and it seemed like they were hired because of the guy and the lady, and couldn't the owner defeat them alone in the hall? After some time, Su Liang's boss came to Linhai Hospital, and she never leaves for a long time and always takes care of Shu's friend, and he impressed her. Boss Su Liang treated Shu's wound, and she will quickly heal him and will never abandon him because he tried his best to protect her from vile hooligans. Boss Su Liang asked her friend Shu if he was awake, and didn't need to scare her like that, and she was nervous and thought that her friend was in a coma from injuries. Shu listens to the boss's words and asks Su Liang if he has already been hospitalized and why he doesn't remember what happened. And this worries him. Shu is holding his head and is in a lot of pain, and he was injured and could not resolve the issue differently, and the hooligans did not want to leave. Boss Su Liang sits next to Shu and called Xu Xing and said that a friend woke up and asked to examine him quickly and she would bring medicine. Xu Xing asked Su Liang how many times she said that Shu was already healthy and that he had a skin lesion and that he would soon recover, and that was a fact. Xu Xing asks Su Liang to wake up, and she is her neighbor from Suqiao University and she worked hard for the family, and what is her relationship with Liu? Su Liang asks Xu Xing not to talk nonsense, and Shu is a trainer in her fitness club and nothing more. And why did she decide that the boss loves trainer Li? Shu listens to all the ladies' conversations, and Xu Xing told Su Liang that she hadn't seen her alone for so long and began to worry because she was a friend. Xu Xing told Shu, the nurse put the coach's clothes in the closet and where he got the clothes from, and it looks like they protect his body from everything. Shu said that Xu Xing is his family's internal armor, and it is always with him and protects him from enemy attacks, and he bought it in the system in time. Lulu asked the owner Shu if he knew why the hooligans came to their fitness club and beat him up, and she thinks the owner didn't understand anything. Shu told Lulu that he was very interested to know why the hooligans beat him up and who gave them the order, and he heard them talking about the boss. And then a screen appeared in front of Shu, and Lulu asks the owner to look at the screen, and he will find out the whole truth and who is involved in the beatings, and this is important. Another coach asked the hooligans to break Coach Shu's leg and arm, and he will give them $20,000, and he will give an advance payment for their case. Shu thought how mean it was and why the man hired hooligans and wanted to harm him, but he doesn't know how he displeased this madman. Another coach told the bullies that after the task he would give them the second half of the reward, and the bullies asked the boss not to worry about their case. Shu asked Lulu how she knew about this information, and when Shu fought with the hooligans, she extracted the memory from their blood in an instant. Lulu said the hooligans were ill-disposed towards the owner, and she was obliged to investigate them and understand the motive behind the hooligans' actions. Shu told Lulu that she impressed him very much and saved him from the bullies, and he will never forget her care, and let him say if he needs to help her. Lulu told Master Shu that it was her duty, and she had to leave, and the master would recover and she would not interfere, and soon the coach would punish the hooligans. Shu said goodbye to Lulu and thought she was so cute, and didn't know that she could help, and the system was amazing and had so many functions. Shu didn't notice how he said goodbye to Lu out loud, and boss Su Liang and Xu Xing look at their friend and want to understand what's wrong with him, and Li is scared. Su Liang told Xu Xing that her friend is talking to someone, and his brain is broken, and she suggests sending him to a mental hospital. But Shu is angry at their words. Xu Xing told Su Liang that she needed to keep an eye on the other patients and that Shu wasn't the only one in the hospital who needed help, and he started to recover. Su Liang apologized to Xu Xing for disturbing her, and she thought that Shu's friend had a serious injury, but her friend calmed her down in an instant. Boss Su Liang told her friend Shu that these days he should recuperate and not go to the gym, and she gives him a break, and this is important. Shu asked Su Liang's boss what about her and whether she would go to work alone, and it would be unsafe and he would worry about the boss there. Boss Su Liang told Shu that she is not that stupid and asked Shu's friend who did this to him, and a friend doesn't bother someone else's girlfriend. Shu was shocked and asked Boss Su Liang if he looked like a scoundrel, and if he were to communicate with someone, she should look like Boss Liang. Shu asks Su Liang's boss not to be nervous and leave their problem to him, and he will correct the situation and punish the culprits and guarantees this. Boss Su Liang asked Shu if he could take revenge on his enemies, and even if he had fish-scale armor to protect himself, it was still dangerous. Shu was confused and asked Sister Su Liang how she knew that his armor was called fish-scale, and let Sister Su tell the truth. Boss Su Liang told her friend Shu that his defense was like fish scales, and that's why she called him that. And she had to go, and she would visit her friend tomorrow. Su Liang will not let her enemies know who she is, and she will always live in darkness and left this cruel family. But her heart has not forgotten anything. Li Shu is sad, and she and Li Shu are destined to be as clear as light and dark as darkness. But she will support her friend Li Shu in any situation. A day later, Li Shu continues to lie in the hospital and is lazy, and he wants to quickly return to the fitness club and train lovely ladies. Li Shu is bored, and the hot news is full of gossip about the stars. And why does he read show business news? And at this rate, he will soon go crazy. Li Shu found out that the popular actress Li Qingyi is secretly dating a rich, handsome man, and people are discussing the secret affair and they are curious. Li Shu reads the news, and yesterday she finished training and was in a hurry to leave. And he thought something happened to Li Qingyi and was worried about her affairs. But Li Shu found out that Li Qingyi was dating her brother. And people were wrong to believe in a whirlwind romance and the lengths reporters will go to for an internet sensation. And then a lady in a mask and glasses entered the room, and Li Shu asked if she looked like Li Qingyi. And the coach immediately recognized her even in this form and remembered. Li Qingyi asks Li Shu to speak more quietly, and he is wrapped in bandages and looks like a rice ball. And it looks like Coach Li Shu is already seriously injured. The doctor told Li Shu that he was fine and how she knew that he was there, and Li Qingyi found out everything from Su Liang, and he beat up 2 hooligans alone in the hall. Li Qingyi asked Li Shu what he did to the hooligans, and maybe he had a conflict with the mafia boss, but then more than 2 fighters would have come. Li Shu asked Li Qingyi if it wasn't dangerous for her to come to the hospital alone. But she wasn't afraid and wanted to make sure Coach Li was okay. Li Qingyi told Li Shu that she would not leave it like this, and they would punish the enemies who beat him and make him answer for their actions, and this is the goal. Li Qingyi asked the coach who would help her with her back pain if he got hurt, and Li Shu realized that actress Li only thinks about her back. But suddenly at this moment someone knocked on the door, and Li Qingyi does not want this person to enter Li Shu's room, and she will explain everything. The guy at the door asked if he could come in, and he wanted to discuss everything, and he had a reason why he came to the hospital and wanted to say, but Li Qingyi covered Li Shu's friend's mouth with her hand, and he must not answer the question of the person behind the door. And he is a dangerous and insidious person. Actress Li Qingyi asks Li Shu not to make a sound, and the stranger is not so simple, and therefore they need to be more careful, and Qingyi is worried. The man behind the door said no one said a word, so he would enter without thinking twice, and he waited for them, but no one answered his questions. The stranger opened the door and entered Li Shu's room, and why no one answered him? And he wants to find one person who hid there. A stranger noticed Li Shu lying in bed and actress Li Qingyi hiding under the blanket. And the man definitely won't find her in this place. Li Shu understood that the stranger seemed to have a bad character, and that the actress Li Qingyi was hiding something, and he had to first explain the whole situation to him. The stranger ignores Li Shu's words, and Li Qingyi asks her friend not to be nervous there, and it will be bad if she is found, and she quickly hid it. Of course Li Shu knows he shouldn't panic, but actress Li Qingyi doesn't keep her distance and presses so closely to him and her friend nervously. Li Shu begs Li Qingyi not to breathe, otherwise he won't be able to bear it, and the stranger will find out where she's hiding, and Li Shu can barely hold on there. The stranger apologizes to Li Shu, and he made a mistake with the door, and did not want to disturb the patient's peace and will leave the room and leave immediately. The stranger closed the door and left Li Shu's room and did not know where the actress Li Qingyi had gone, and it seemed to him that she had gone there. Li Shu told the actress it really scared him, and Li Qingyi thought she would be discovered, but thanks to the coach for not handing her over to the scoundrel, and she appreciates. But at that moment, Su Liang's boss entered Li Shu's room and wanted to visit her friend today and make sure that Li's treatment was going smoothly. Boss Su Liang saw Li Shu and Li Qingyi together and asked her friends not to be distracted there and continue. And she would leave and came to Li Shu's friend in vain. Li Shu asks Sister Su Liang to stand and let him explain everything, and it is not his fault and he is the victim in this situation, and Li Qingyi set him up. Boss Su Liang told Li Shu that he seemed to enjoy being a victim, and she didn't know what kind of games he was playing with Li Qingyi and let them continue everything. Li Shu told Sister Su Liang that he didn't like anything and accidentally ended up in this position, and Li Qingyi will explain the situation and he won't lie to her. Li Qingyi was angry and asked Li Shu what he wanted to say, and whether she had no charm at all and why she didn't like anything and she was beautiful. Boss Su Liang stands behind her friends and asks Li Shu and Li Qingyi how long they will stay in this position, and they both feel very comfortable. Li Shu wondered if he had provoked Sister Su Liang, and he always tells her the truth, but from the outside it seems like he is always lying to the boss. 7 years ago, Li Qingyi was walking in the park and came to the bridge to take a photo as a souvenir, and she dreamed of a career as a singer and actress. Li Qingyi asks her brother Hao Ming to make her beautiful like a star, and he is obliged to take pictures of her from different angles to convey the full beauty of the lady. And at that very moment, a wounded dog came up to Li Qingyi, and she loves all animals and wanted to help the dog. And the dog looks unhappy in the park. Li Qingyi told the dog that he was so cute and asked him to come to her and she would pet him. He suffered and hurt his paw, but soon the dog would forget the pain. Li Qingyi asked the dog if he had hurt his paw and wanted to examine the wound and provide first aid to the dog. The actress always feels sorry for animals, But at that very moment, the dog became angry and began to bark at Li Qingyi. And he did not spare her, and pretended to be friendly but wanted to attack her. But the dog flew a couple of meters away and someone hit him and saved Li Qingyi from the bites of the evil dog, and wanted to protect him because he saw how Qingyi was afraid of the dog. How? Ming kicked the dog with all his might, and he will not allow the dog to hurt Qingyi. And when he is next to Li, nothing threatens her, and he will protect her from parasites. The dog started to drown in the lake, and people were passing by and no one was helping, and Li Qingyi was nervous, and why did he have to kick the defenseless dog? Li Qingyi asked Hao Ming how he could do that to the dog, but he said that he was trying to protect her and the dog was definitely serious. Hao Ming told Li Qingyi that it was just a stray dog, and it was no pity to take the life of a mutt, and she shouldn't worry about dogs and they weren't human. Li Qingyi told her friends that the guy's name is Wang Haoming, and they both grew up together and he likes her. But she doesn't like Hao, and their families are friends. This time, Li Qingyi came to Linhai to shoot a movie, but Wang Haoming followed her, and one day he was caught by a reporter, and it's true. Li Qingyi said that brother Wang Haoming is a good person, and he never harms her. But for some reason, sometimes Li is a little scared of Haoming. Su Liang told Li Qingyi that she couldn't avoid Wang Haoming, and she wanted to know if she had any luck if he came to her tonight. Li Qingyi came up with a way to end this forever, and she needed Li Xiu to do her a favor, and then she would get rid of Hao's attention. But Li Xiu told Li Qingyi that he could no longer pretend to be her boyfriend, and the actress was surprised and asked her friend how he knew about her plans. Li Xiu told Li Qingyi that ladies often watch TV series, and he knows everything and pretending to be a guy is unreliable and let them believe their friend. Li Qingyi asked Li Xiu if he hadn't tried it. How did he know that her plan wouldn't work? And maybe she had come up with a brilliant plan today. Li Xiu told Li Qingyi that it was useless to pretend to be pathetic and cute, and he couldn't do anything about it and let the actress not beg her friend. Lulu asked the owner of Li Xiu why he hesitated with the answer and did not want to help Li Qingyi and let him agree, because she was not indifferent. Li Xiu told Lulu that actress Li Qingyi's boyfriend is a murderer and he doesn't want to provoke him and the enemy could cause serious injuries to the coach. Lulu asked Li Xiu if she didn't want the perfect glasses system, and Li Xiu asked what this matter had to do with the perfect glasses. Lulu told Master Li Xiu that by helping others become better, he can get perfect glasses and buy rare items and thus protect himself. Lulu said if Qingyi escapes Wang Haoming's persecution, she will have a better chance of finding true love, and this is all development. But Lulu told Master Li Xiu that if he didn't want to get the points, Li could refuse Li Qingyi's request and wouldn't get anything in return. Li Xiu shouted, and he is obliged to accept Li Qingyi's request and rid her of the scoundrel Wang Haoming, who does not give her peace, and he pursues her everywhere. Boss Su Liang and Li Qingyi were surprised by Li Xiu's answer and why he was yelling at them because they hadn't done anything, and he could have refused the actress. Li Xiu asked Li Qingyi how he could ignore his friend when she was in trouble, and the actress said, "Thank you," and Li Xiu is her best friend, and she believes Li Xiu is happy, and with perfect system points he will buy things, and the task does not seem impossible, and the coach will have enough strength to expel Wang Haoming. Su Liang told Li Xiu that he has another motive and why he agreed to become Li Qingyi's fake boyfriend, and Xiu said that he is not that kind of person. Li Qingyi asked Su Liang how she could fall in love with someone like Li Xiu, and the coach doesn't know why the actress talks like that and hurts his soul. Sister Su Liang told Li Xiu that this has nothing to do with her, and let him do whatever he wants, and she is not his mother and does not control him everywhere. Li Xiu asked Li Qingyi what he needed to do to help her, and he would complete the task before Su Liang's boss killed her friend out of jealousy. Actress Li Qingyi told Coach Li Xiu everything very simply, and she will explain everything to him and hopes everything will go according to plan, and Li Xiu will be the best. But when Li Xiu did not expect this, Li Qingyi told her friend to lie down for now, and Li Xiu did not understand what the catch was and why he should lie there. At this time, Mr. Wang Haoming arrived at the hotel by limousine, and he will discuss important aspects with a colleague and immediately find out all the information. Wang Haoming asked Molly what he wanted to say and who was looking for him, and let him answer all the questions, and it is important for him to know the enemy for the future. Molly told Wang Haoming that he has important information, and Mr. Wang probably doesn't know that Miss Li Qingyi is avoiding him, and that's true. Wang Haoming told Molly that he wasn't there to listen to nonsense, and if he had nothing to say, he should leave and not waste his time. Coach Molly told Mr. Wang Haoming that he knows he made so many mistakes before, but this time he wants to help Mr. Wang Haoming and is clearly not lying. Molly told Mr. Wang Haoming that the reason Li Qingyi was avoiding him was Li Xiu, and he was to blame for everything, and the coach charmed the lady. Molly told Mr. Wang Haoming that he must be careful with Li Xiu and that this coach is dangerous, and Li Xiu can interfere with Mr. Wang Haoming's plans. Wang Haoming told Molly that he can return, and the coach is happy to help the mister and let him contact him with any questions, and he is always in touch. Wang Haoming asked Suwoo's assistant whether he thought they could trust Coach Molly's words or whether he had made it up and drawn attention to it. Suwoo told Wang Haoming that Molly's words were nonsense and only an idiot would believe Molly's words and he was talking nonsense. But he managed to convince everyone, and that's cool. Wang Haoming asked Suwoo if he ever trusted Coach Molly, but he himself would rather believe him than think that there is definitely no threat. Wang Haoming told Suwoo that he would rather kill thousands by mistake than make one mistake by carelessness, and he has clear principles. Wang Haoming squeezed the glass of wine in his hand and smashed it to pieces. And he is not as calm as before. And there is some truth in the words of Coach Molly. Wang Haoming told Su. It was true that Li Shu had contact with Qingyi, and he wanted Li Shu to know there were people who would ruin their lives. Su Wu told Wang Haoming, it's no wonder Qingyi doesn't like him, and if he were her, he wouldn't like overly domineering men like his friend. Wang Haoming told Su Wu that it would be better for him to be powerful than dependent like Su Wu. And in any dispute, one must judge people objectively, and this is a fact. Su Wu sighed and realized that Wang Haoming hates it when someone insults his character to his face, and he doesn't want to admit that he is not always right. Su Wu told Wang Haoming that people who tell the truth are always in the shadows, and he knows they are not popular, and he is the same, and Wang Haoming is no different. Actress Li Qingyi is lying on Li Shu's friend's bed at this time, and she doesn't worry about anything and believes her friend will easily save her from Wang Haoming. Li Shu said to Li Qingyi, it's already late and doesn't she want to go back to the hotel, and Qingyi must gain strength and energy and tomorrow is a new day. Li Qingyi told Li Shu that her boyfriend was in the hospital and why she had to go to the hotel, and she really wanted to stay with Li and they had a strong relationship. Li Yu told Miss Li Qingyi that they were playing a role and she could easily go to the hotel and rest, but he would definitely not be lost in the hospital. Li Qingyi asked Li Shu how many times she asked him to call her Yi and who calls their girlfriend Miss Li Qingyi, and it's weird. And at that moment, someone knocked on the door and Li Qingyi realized that only Wang Haoming could come to them, and she was ready and the actress would play her role. Li Shu told the guest that he could come into the room and Wang Haoming intended to resolve all issues with Li Shu so that the coach would understand who he was dealing with. Li Qingyi asked her brother Wang Haoming why he came there and she didn't expect him and they don't know Li Shu. And what's the matter and the reason? Wang Haoming told Li Qingyi that he had come to pick her up at the hotel and that it was too dangerous for her to be outside. And why didn't she understand that? But Li Qingyi told Wang Haoming that her boyfriend Shu was injured and she had to stay in the hospital and take care of him and feed him always and love him. Li Qingyi told Li Shu that this was porridge that she had cooked for 3 hours, and he thought that the actress obviously bought the porridge in the cafeteria and was playing the role there. Wang Haoming is serious and asked the guy what his name is, and he is making him nervous, and Wang is obliged to quickly deal with Li Qingyi's guy. The coach told Wang Haoming's brother his name is Li Shu, and he thought that Wang was a dangerous guy and that he needed to be careful and that he felt threatened. The system informed the owner of Li Shu that the guy's name is Wang Haoming, and he has already acquired skills in the field of martial arts, the specifics of which are unknown. Li Shu is completely shocked by the information from his system, and whether Wang Haoming has acquired skills in the field of martial arts. And this is important to know. Li Shu doesn't know why Li Qingyi didn't tell him that Wang Haoming is a martial artist and that he might get into huge trouble because of the enemy. But Li Shu did not understand why information appeared in the special system that the specifics were unknown, and that Wang Haoming was hiding and intriguing. Li Shu asked Lulu why the system reported this, and Lulu would explain everything to him. And the gap between him and Wang Haoming was already too big. Wang Haoming asked Li Shu if he knew when Qingyi was born, and as a boyfriend he was obliged to know information about his beloved and Li Qingyi. Li Shu was confused, and although he liked Li Qingyi, he didn't know anything about her birthday and Li Shu didn't expect to hear such questions. Wang Haoming is clear, and he will check Li Shu's knowledge and what information he knows about Li Qingyi, and whether the boyfriend is real or an actor playing a role. Wang Haoming asked Li Shu what flavor of ice cream Qingyi likes, what color of clothes she likes, and her favorite food, and let her answer. Li Shu froze in place and the atmosphere in the room became tense, and Wang Haoming is not an ordinary person and is hiding something from him, and his aura is dark. Li Qingyi asked Li Shu what was going on with him, and Coach Li couldn't move, and what technique had paralyzed his body, and it was strange. Li Qingyi asks Li Shu not to scare him, and the coach made sure Li Qingyi is okay, and only he feels the show from these few words, and he is already so weak. Li Shu's head is spinning, and he is very scared and inexplicable how he became so weak in an instant, and it seems that the vile Wang Haoming is to blame for everything. Wang Haoming asked Li Qingyi how her boyfriend couldn't know such things, and maybe another person would be better suited to be her boyfriend. And then boss Su Liang entered Li Shu's room and told Wang Haoming it was none of his business whether Li Shu had the right or not, and that he shouldn't threaten his friend. Su Liang told Li Qingyi that she would help Li Shu, and that he was injured and not in optimal shape and should not be stressed, and that she came on time. Sister Su Liang asked her friend Li Shu if he could hear her, and it seemed like he had received a new injury and why he wasn't answering questions and was scaring her. Wang Haoming doesn't know how Lu can be cared for by a sweet and beautiful lady, and what is so special about him that attracts all the sweet ladies. Boss Su Liang told Wang Haoming that he was not welcome there and asked him to leave, and he didn't come to the hospital to visit Li Shu. And that's true. Wang Haoming told Li Qingyi that Su Liang's boss came to the hospital and it was time for them to leave and the boss would take care of her boyfriend, and she didn't have to sit with Li Shu. But Li Qingyi is worried about the condition of her friend Li Shu, and she didn't want to put so much pressure on him and didn't know that he was not in good shape yet, and she was sorry for his mistakes. Boss Su Liang hugged her friend Li Shu, and he is very weak, and his energy is clearly at its limit. And what happened in the room, and what is Wang Haoming's fault? Li Qingyi continues to apologize to Sister Su Liang, and she definitely did not know that this would happen, and she is ready to protect Li Shu from everyone. Su Liang told Li Qingyi that she doesn't need to apologize, and Su hopes from now on, Li Qingyi will stay away from Li Shu and she will harm. Sister Su Liang told Li Qingyi the further she goes the better, and Li Shu is better when she does not involve him in her games, and Su decided everything. At night, actress Li Qingyi left the hospital, and she did not know that Li Shu would lose consciousness and how Wang Haoming influenced this, and she was in shock. Sister Su Liang realized it was her fault, and there was no need to leave Li Shu alone with the stranger. Wang Hao and the actress Li Qingyi often thinks only of herself. Boss Su Liang will not abandon his friend Su Liang in trouble, and she will cure him. And he did not deserve such punishment, and what did the scoundrel Wang Haoming do to him? Li Shu is stuck in another reality and begs his friends for help, and he already has the feeling that his consciousness is moving away from his body and how to solve the problem. The dark essence does not allow Li Shu to break free, and Wang Haoming is to blame for this, and he did not think that he had a serious opponent. Sister Su Liang asks her friend Li Shu not to be nervous, and soon she will pull him out of hell and will never abandon him in trouble, and promises her best friend. Li Shu wondered who was calling him, and it was such a familiar voice, and he had a wonderful feeling, and the dark energy left his body, and it was a shock. Sister Su Liang asked her friend Li Shu if he could hear her voice, and she would be there until he woke up and overcame all the difficult moments. Li Shu began to come to his senses and did not know what happened and why he suddenly lost consciousness while silently communicating with Wang Haoming. Boss Su Liang calmed down, and finally Li Shu's friend woke up, and she wanted to call the nurses and was afraid that her friend had fallen into a coma, and she did care. Li Shu asked Sister Su Liang what happened and let her explain all the information. And he does not remember what happened and where the actress Li Qingyi is. Su Liang realized that Wang Haoming had used a shock technique on Li Shu, and if she hadn't arrived in time, he could have turned into a vegetable, and she was afraid. Li Shu remembered, and Wang Haoming was to blame for everything, and he used a special technique on him there. And he was unable to reflect it and lost consciousness. Li Shu was surprised whether this was the strength of a martial artist, and he humiliated him. And he was empty like a reptile and could not fight back against the scoundrel Wang Hao there. Li Shu decided that he must become a martial arts master, and the system congratulated Li Shu, and he was recognized by the system and also activated the skill. The system informed the owner of Li Shu that he activated the heart of the sutra, and he did not understand what kind of skill it was and was waiting for an explanation from a special system. Li Shu noticed the sutra book in front of him, and the system gives gifts, and he is confused by a lot of data and seems to have missed a lot of things. Li Shu will soon find out what the Heart Sutra skill is, and the system says nothing about it and where his assistant Lulu is and calls her to find out everything right away. Lulu congratulated Master Li Shu, and he was recognized by the system, and Master Li activated the heart of the sutra, and she will explain all the information soon. Li Shu was surprised and asked Lulu if he hadn't been approved by the system a long time ago, and the system had chosen him and he was a special boss. Lulu told Master Li Shu earlier that he had obtained the right to use the system and he could use the basic functions of the system, and these are the facts. Lulu told the master that only after approval all the functions of the system are available to him, but Li Shu said and asked why he was recognized again. Lulu told Master Li Shu that he received the recognition of the system because there is no tolerance and the system always protects Master Li from enemies. Lulu told Master Li Shu that he felt weak and the evil Wang Haoming played with him like a bug, and the boss couldn't fight back against the enemy. Lulu told Master Shu that intolerance is the ultimate expression of the desire to strive for perfection, and Lulu will reveal the secrets of the system. Lulu told Master Li Shu that this is also a powerful incentive for a person's self-breakthrough, and the master will already know all the secrets in the future. Lulu told Master Li Shu that the purpose of the system is to help people achieve perfection and that the heart of the sutra responds to people's inner desires. Lulu told Master Li Shu that learning occurs through the owner's memory, and Li Shu asked how information flows through his memory. But Li Shu told Lulu that he is not a martial arts master and how the system gets information about martial arts from him, and this is amazing. Lulu asked if Li Shu hadn't read a lot of novels and watched martial arts shows, and the system would immediately extract the information from there. Li Shu was completely shocked and asked Lulu if this was normal, and he didn't know about such hidden secrets of the system, and it amazes his imagination. Lulu told Master Li Shu that if he had never eaten pork but saw a pig running, and if the master ran, the system would receive the data. Li Shu listened to Lulu's words with interest and asked why he thought she was scolding someone, and that she would always support the master in his missions. Lulu told Master Li Shu that this is just a metaphor, and the heart of the sutra is already based on the strongest martial arts in Boss Li Shu's mind. Li Shu recalls the most powerful martial arts techniques in his heart, and whether it is the true Nine Yin Sutra or the Dragon Palm. Lulu said to Master Li, and it's like the sunrise in the east and she's undefeated, and her name is Sunflower Treasure, and it amuses Lulu. Li Shu asked Lulu if she could rewrite the heart of the sutra, and the boss was afraid that after mastering the practice, she would become weak. But these are Li's thoughts. Li Shu wondered if the Nine Suns' magical art and the strongest technique in his heart were bad. The Sunflower Treasure, and the boss was doomed. As a child, my father asked Li Shu why he was sitting there on his lap and watching TV, and it was all because of the influence of the undefeated East. Lulu asked Master Li Shu if he shouldn't think about practicing the Heart Sutra by now, and if this was a joke or if the master had resigned himself to everything. Li Shu listens to Lulu's words and how to practice the technique, and it definitely doesn't matter, and the system took him by surprise, and he doesn't believe in success. Lulu is angry with Li Shu and told the master that he is so stupid, and the heart of the sutra is written on the basis of the treasure of the sunflower, and let him remember this. But Li Shu said Lulu's sutra was written disgustingly then, and how it would help him. And the name of the Heart Sutra was not given in vain, and it does not lie. Lulu told Master Li Shu that of course she wasn't lying to him, and the master immediately asked Lulu if he could start practicing this technique there. Li Shu listens, and Lulu said this is the master's spiritual world, and he cannot develop there, and must return to reality, and this is important. Lulu told Master Li Shu that the heart of the sutra also uses up a lot of energy, and people need to enter a state of sleep for a while, and Lulu believes. Lulu told Master Li Shu that during her sleep, little Lulu would serve her, and the doll said that the master's silver was good and he was cool. Lulu told Master Li Shu that she wishes Li Shu good luck and that he will succeed if he believes in himself, and that Li has great potential and talent. Li Shu noticed something and Lulu went to rest, but he has no time to rest and will always train to the maximum. Li Shu read in the heart of the sutra about the first level of body hardening, and the system will support the owner in any situation, and let him ask. Li Gu sits and trains his consciousness and masters techniques. But someone there asked Li Gu's friend if the friend felt any physical discomfort. Li Shu opened his eyes and realized that his sister Su Liang was standing in front of him, and she never leaves her friend alone, and Su is always ready to help in any situation. Boss Su Liang told her friend Li Qiu that she saw him close his eyes and it was because of a headache, and let her friend answer the question, and she was worried. Li Bu told Su Liang's boss that he is fine, and she doesn't need to worry about him, and thanks to her care he is recovering quickly and he appreciates it all so much. Su Liang understood, and it seems that Li Shu is not hurt, and he is full of energy like a normal person compared to before he is different. Su Liang asked her friend Li Shu if he was really okay, and she really wanted to know if Coach Li Shu was hiding anything from the boss, and if he was cunning. Su Liang lay down on her friend, and Li Shu told the boss that he was really okay, and why would he lie to his sister when she always helps and protects her friend? Su Liang stood up and told her friend Li Shu that she was glad that he was okay, and that she still had things to do, and that she would go and let him call if his friend needed medicine. Li Shu asks Sister Su Liang to take care of herself, and a lot of things happened today, and let the boss return home and take a rest from all the work and fuss. Boss Su Liang told Li Shu that she would be in touch and that in case of any problems he was obliged to contact her, and together they would solve all the issues, and this is true. Boss Su Liang closed the door and left Li Shu's room. And the sister believes that Li Shu will recover soon, and they will improve the business of the fitness club together. Li Shu exhaled, and Sister Su Liang almost caught him when he was sitting and practicing skills, and you have to be careful with the system in front of people. Li Shu took out the book Heart Sutra and wanted to learn many techniques, and he realized how weak and helpless he was against the enemy Wang Haoming. Li Shu is in a lot of pain and bandages are falling from his body, and the book of the Heart Sutra normalizes the energy in the host's body, and Li Shu will become strong. Li Shu decided that he must quickly gain strength to defeat the enemy Wang Haoming and take revenge for the humiliation of the villain 1,000 times greater. Li Shu concentrates energy in the body and applies the technique of the broken body enclosed in the strong, and the book of the heart of the sutra develops skills. Li Shu learned that life force develops 5 points in the body, and the system does not wish harm to the owner. But the boss is obliged to experience pain and become stronger. Li Shu realized that special training really hurt him, but this pain is nothing, and he must endure any pain, and Li Shu has a clear goal. Li Cho wants to become strong, and is ready to experience any pain, and will succeed in training and shut the mouth of everyone who doubted his strength. Li Shu keeps repeating to himself, and he really wants to become strong, and Wang Haoming motivates him, and he will surpass the enemy in strength and guarantee. Li Shu must be strong to protect all his friends and loved ones from Wang Haoming, and the martial artist easily broke his spirit. And at that moment, suddenly, a black and sticky substance began to come out of Li Shu's body, and he cleared his body of dark energy in an instant. Li Shu noticed how his entire bed and room were covered in a black substance, and he had achieved success in training and was already in full control of his body. Li Shu was shocked and did not expect that the dark viscous substance would come out of his body, and the system did not give him the book of the heart of the sutra for nothing, and he studies the book. Li Shu felt a foul smell and how the dark substance stinks, and he didn't want to make a mess in the hospital ward, and he would go quickly. Li Shu quickly left the room and needed to find out the truth about the system, and he did not reveal all the secrets and mysteries, and it was better to go to another room. Li Shu went to the toilet and he came to his senses after the events, and he is collected and concentrated, and no one will distract him from the main goal and revenge. Li Shu is so happy and feels strong, and the Book of the Heart Sutra develops power, and next time he will humiliate Wang Haoming and avenge the sins of the enemy. Li Shu saw his pumped-up body in the mirror, and he really is the most handsome and never doubted that he has potential and strength. Li Shu said now he can become a martial arts master, and he is serious, and nothing will stop him, and he will teach Wang a lesson. Earlier in the day, boss Su Liang asked her friend Li Shu how he slept at night, and she noticed how quickly he regained his strength and was ready for heroic deeds. Li Shu told Su Liang's boss that it couldn't be better, and that last night he already slept like a baby, and that the hospital was helping, and that he missed their fitness club. Sister Su Liang was surprised and asked Li Shu's friend where his bandages were and why he took them off without the doctor's permission, and why Li Shu was being so diligent in vain. Li Shu told Su Liang's boss that he was fine, and there was no need to be nervous. He could be discharged from the hospital today and would be back to work. Boss Su Liang asked Li Shu what kind of nonsense he was talking about, and she wanted to personally examine him and then calm down and not bother her friend over trifles. Li Shu is excited by Sister Su Liang's actions, and she is unexpectedly so close to him, and how can he control himself again in such a situation? Sister Su Liang doesn't know what Li Shu did last night and why her friend has pale skin, and she will find out the reason, and he won't hide anything. Li Shu doesn't understand what Su Liang's sister is doing, and he politely explains to her that he respects her very much and doesn't want to ruin the relationship, and that she is his friend. The system informed the owner of Li Shu that Su Liang has a perfect body and there is a seal on the body. But there is no detailed information, and Li Shu does not know what it is. Lulu told Master Li Shu that information about Su Liang's strength would only be known to someone who was much stronger than him, and Master would remember this. Li Shu wondered if Su Liang's sister was perfect in martial arts and what kind of seal was on her body, and the Master had so many questions and no answers. Sister Su Liang began to wave her hands and asked her friend Li Shu what he was distracted by and what he was thinking about. And these days, she does not recognize her former friend. Li Shu told Sister Su Liang that he doesn't think about anything, and maybe he was sick yesterday and that's why he's a little absent-minded. But her friend has no secrets. Sister Su Liang told Li Shu that he doesn't have a fever and asked her friend to wait, and she would call a doctor and she would help and cure his illness. Li Shu said to Su Liang's boss, "Thank you for caring, and no one else cares about him like that. And with her, he is protected, and Li is not afraid of any enemies." Li Qiu wondered if Sister Su Liang couldn't use force because of the seal on her body and why she was hiding the fact that she had the seal. The doctor told the patient Li Shu that she would examine his condition, and she was in shock, and did his wound heal so quickly, and could it be regeneration? Li Qiu told the doctor that he had regenerative abilities since childhood and that wounds heal so quickly, which is why he is not afraid of getting serious injuries in battles. But suddenly at that moment the doctor took out a scalpel, and the patient, Li Shu, has a special body, and she wants to examine Li Shu 100%. Sister Su Liang laughs and asks Xu Xing to stop scaring Li Shu. And he is fine, and she will help him get out of the hospital, and he is so tired. Xu Xing told patient Li Shu that she really wants to examine his body, and Li Shu wants to ask Dr. Zhao Xuzing something about Liang. Li Shu asked Zhao Xuzing if she knew Su Liang's sister well, and the doctor told Li that she and Su Liang had studied at the university for 4 years. Dr. Zhao Xuzing told Li Shu that Sister Su Liang knows her size, and she knows her size, and she and Liang are so close that it is impossible to be closer. Li Shu wants to know all the information about Su Liang but is embarrassed to ask. So he asks Dr. Zhao Xuzing to tell him all the information about Su's boss. During her 4 years at university, Su Liang had no contact with her family. Her mother and father died, and she was raised by her uncle until Su Liang became an adult. Dr. Zhao Xuzing told Li Shu not to hurt Su Liang. Otherwise, she would tear something away from him. And Li Shu realized what Su Liang's life has been like since childhood. Li Shu thought, and perhaps everyone has their own secrets, and Li Shu decided, and he did not realize how much Sister Su Liang suffered, and this is the main mistake. Li Shu realized that he must be strong to keep these secrets and not allow enemies to harm Sister Su Liang and protect her in any trouble. Li Shu told his sister Su Liang that he thought they weren't going to his house, and that he could give her a navigator so the boss could forget where Coach Li Shu lived. Boss? Su Liang asked Li Shu if he finally noticed it, and she asked what he was thinking, and Li Shu looked kind of depressed, and that's true. Li Shu told Su Liang's boss that he had just been discharged from the hospital and was asking for an answer to the question of where she was taking him, and it seemed like Su was hiding something. Sister Su Liang told her friend Li Shu that she was taking him to her place, and until he fully recovered his strength and energy, he would live in the boss's house. Sister Su Liang thought about Wang Haoming, and if the enemy finds out that Li Shu is alive, he is afraid that he will not leave Li alone and he must be careful. Li Shu was completely shocked and asked Sister Su Liang if he was going to live in her house and why he found out about it on the way to her house, and it was strange. Li Shu saw Su Liang's boss's house and he was so happy, and he always dreamed of living in such a house, and Su's sister asked if he shouldn't thank her. Li Shu hugged Su Liang's boss, and it was as if they were married, and he lives at her expense, and he wants to hug her, and his sister often helps him, and he is so happy. Boss Su Liang told Li Shu that if he says such nonsense again, she will immediately tear out his tongue and eat it for dinner, and she remembers how he also helped her. Sister Su Liang said to Li Shu that since he is so energetic today, he is the one cooking dinner, and Li Shu obeys the boss's order and will cook dinner for them. Li Shu told Sister Su Liang that her refrigerator is so clean, and it's like new, and it seems like the boss often cleans the house and he knows her character. Boss Su Liang told Li Shu that the refrigerator is clean because she loves cleaning and does not buy unnecessary products and tidies up. Li Shu asked his sister Su Liang if they could both go to the supermarket together and buy groceries since he had to cook dinner for Liang. Boss Su Liang agrees to go to the supermarket but warns that she is so picky about food, and if she doesn't like it, she will be angry. And these are the facts. Li Shu told the boss that Su Liang likes boiled fish but not spicy fish, and she likes to eat nuts but doesn't like sour food, and she loves tofu and spices. Boss Su Liang was surprised. And when Li Shu managed to remember everything and Li Shu told Sister Su Liang, he remembers everything she says and he does not lie. Boss Su Ling is completely shocked by Li Shu's friend, and he actually remembered her favorite dishes and she told him at most once, and remembers everything. Boss Su Liang asks Li Shu to stop talking nonsense, and if they don't go now, all the stores will close and the friends won't have time to buy groceries. Li Shu thought the battle was not won yet, and he had to try harder, and he loved his sister Su Liang, and she helped him in difficult times, and Su was a miracle. After some time, Sister Su Liang and Li Shu came to the supermarket, and Boss Su had not invited guests for so long, and therefore there were very few products in her house. Boss Su Liang is standing in the center of the supermarket, and there are so many products, and Li Shu should be more knowledgeable about cooking dinners and have more experience. Li Shu told Sister Su Liang that they would go, and there were so many people in the supermarket that they would go together, so as not to get lost in the crowd and protect. Li Shu holds Su Liang's boss's hand, and he has no friends except Su Liang, and she is ready to shelter him at her home until he recovers from his injuries. Boss. Su Liang thought Li Shu always does everything his own way, and she can no longer argue with him and agrees to go with him anywhere, and he is the leader. And at that very second, someone called Li Shu, and the coach turned around and he recognized the voice and would not confuse it with anyone else, because they spent these days together with Qing Yi. Behind Li Shu stands Li Qingyi and Wang Haoming, and coincidentally, they both also came to the supermarket. And she thought about the coach many times. Li Shu realized that this was the actress Li Qingyi and Wang Haoming, and why they came to the same supermarket as he and Su Liang. And this was not a coincidence. Wang Haoming thought Li Shu was crazy to still be having fun, and hadn't he learned his lesson when he used a dangerous technique on him? Wang Haoming didn't think that Li Shu would be discharged from the hospital so quickly, and must congratulate the coach for his perseverance and for overcoming all his injuries. Li Shu told Wang Haoming to congratulate him, and he could have been hospitalized there, and fortunately he was lucky and the coach learned his lessons. Wang Haoming told Li Shu that sometimes there is no happiness without misfortune, and how the coach thinks about this, and he really wants to know his opinion, and he cares. Li Shu told Wang Haoming that he is absolutely right, and if Wang Hao had not humiliated him, he would not have improved the system and received the Heart Sutra technique. Li Qingye grabbed the coach's hand and asked Li Shu and Wang Haoming why they were speaking in riddles, and if they could have lunch together. But at that very moment, Sister Su Liang grabbed Li Qingyi's hand, and she had told her yesterday and hoped that Qingyi would never bother Li Shu. Actress Li Qingyi asked Li Shu if he really hated her and didn't want to see her anymore, and she wanted to hear it from him and understand Li's thoughts. Li Shu told Li Qingyi that he doesn't hate her, but there is one reason, and Su Liang is 100% right, and it's better for them not to communicate, and he is so angry. Then Li Shu pointed his finger at Wang Haoming and told Li Qingyi that he hated the guy standing next to her and wanted to punish the idiot. Wang Haoming told Li Shu that it was a coincidence, and he also hates Li Shu so much and wants to humiliate the reptile that didn't die last time. Li Shu smiled, and he was waiting for the moment when he would stand face to face with Wang Haoming. And fortunately, they met in the supermarket. And this is luck. Li Shu thought that Wang Haoming would not be able to humiliate him like yesterday, and he would teach Wang Haoming a lesson, and the enemy's pride would suffer in an instant. But Li Qingyi told Wang Haoming that her friend Li Shu is talented and she hopes he won't hate the coach, and why should they conflict? Wang Haoming is angry and asked Li Qingyi if she is crazy, and she wants him to be friends with a reptile, and it seems the lady wants to humiliate him. Li Shu ordered Wang Haoming to attack him, and they would find out which of them was the reptile and guarantee that one of them would lose authority in battle. Li Shu and Wang Haoming wanted to attack each other, but Li Qingyi immediately stood between them, and Wang Haoming really disappointed his friend. Actress Li Qingyi left there in tears and told Wang Haoming that she didn't want to see him anymore, and where did he get so much anger from, and that he was an enemy. Wang Haoming turned to the reptile Li Shu and told him to listen to the words, and he was created to obey Boss Wang, and he hates Li. Wang Haoming told Li Shu that he was lucky and he made him angry, and Qingyi will also get what she deserves for her behavior. But a little later she gets angry. Li Shu covered Su Liang's sister with his body and told Wang Haoming that he would definitely not thank him, and that he should fight with all his strength and not spare them. Wang Haoming told Li Shu to fight with the reptile is so humiliating for him, but he will fulfill his request and he can't leave the supermarket. And at that very moment, Wang Haoming began to attack Li Shu and told the bastard that he would kill him so that he would not interfere with his plans and teach the idiot a lesson. Li Shu ordered Wang Haoming to attack him with all his might, and he is 1,000% sure that everything will be different from yesterday and he will repel the enemy. Wang Haoming asked the reptile if he was still fighting with him and was obliged to beg for mercy on his knees, and then he would let him go home. Wang Haoming continues to attack Li Shu, and then he will send him to hell. And in vain, he pestered the actress Li Qingyi and interfered with their relationship. Li Shu defends himself from dangerous attacks from Wang Haoming and asked if this was all his strength, and he thought it would be more difficult for him. But Wang is weak and a coward. But at this moment, Sister Su Liang put her hand on Li Shu's friend's shoulder and doesn't want him to risk his life, and Wang Haoming is a dangerous enemy. Sister Su Liang pulled Li Shu's friend to her, and he doesn't need to defend himself with all his might from the opponent's attacks, and she will find a way to defeat the bastard. And in an instant, Sister Su Liang shattered the opponent's technique, and Wang Haoming's huge hand shattered into pieces, and the boss promised to protect her friend. Wang Haoming is in complete shock and how Sister Su Liang managed to break his dangerous technique, and she saved Li Shu from injury and pulled him to her. Su Liang's sister told Wang Haoming not to bother Li Shu's friend, otherwise she would hurt him, and he would not leave the supermarket alive, and she would hit him. Wang Haoming didn't understand what kind of background Su Liang's sister had, and whether Li Shu made him tremble with fear thanks to her. And this is interesting. Wang Haoming turned around and told Li Shu that they would meet again, and then they would find out who was stronger, and he would use the most dangerous techniques on him. Sister Su Liang is ashamed that she hugged her friend Li Shu tightly, and then immediately let go of him, and Li Shu fell to the floor and began to breathe as before. Sister Su Liang asked her friend Li Shu how he was feeling and whether he liked to provoke strong opponents and did not remember everything. Li Shu told Sister Su Liang that he simply didn't want to be worthless and weak in front of her anymore. And Wang Haoming threatened them and clearly wanted to attack. Boss Su Liang told Li Shu that he acted not bravely but stupidly and risked his life and fought with a strong opponent, and what was he thinking at that moment? But at that very second, Li Shu hugged Su Liang's boss tightly, and he knew it was dangerous, and he was wrong. And she was right to worry about her friend's health. But Li Shu wants Su Liang's sister to understand that sometimes a man's honor is more important than his life, and he wanted to prove a lot to her and test himself. Boss Su Liang is shocked by Li Shu's behavior, and he has changed over the past few days, and she doesn't recognize Li Shu. And before he was a weak coward and was afraid of everyone. And then Li Shu told Sister Su Liang that he was also the owner of a special system and knew a lot of important information and therefore boldly attacked the enemy. After these events, Li Shu and Su Liang arrived at the boss's house, and they clearly need to calm their nerves, and Wang Haoming angered them, and he is a cowardly parasite. The colleagues got out of the car, and Li Shu hoped that Su Liang's sister understood him and that he knew the secrets and could not help but tell the truth about the Liang system. Li Shu seems to be angry with Su Liang's sister, and the boss patted his friend on the shoulder and wants to discuss important aspects with him and settle all the issues. Sister Su Liang told Li Shu that the world of the special system is too far from them, and she suggests her friend to live like ordinary people and that it is possible. Li Shu told Su Liang, "It doesn't matter if she is an ordinary person or a martial artist, she is still his Su Liang, and this fact cannot be changed in any way, and this is the truth." Su Liang asked Li Shu why he considered himself the owner of a special system, and he thought he would become a martial arts master by becoming stronger. Li Shu told Sister Su Liang that he was training, and that's why his wound healed overnight, and he didn't want to lie to his best friend with the system. Su Liang was shocked and asked Li Shu if he really strengthened his body in one day, and Li Shu trained for 2 hours straight, and then he smelled of sweat. Sister Su Liang asked Li Shu if he had been training for 2 hours, and he asked if it was too slow, and he knew he was still so young. But at that moment, Sister Su Liang grabbed Li Xiu by the scruff of the neck and dragged her into the house and told her to come in, and she was obliged to check the guess and hypothesis there. Boss Su Liang asks friend Li Xiu to take off his clothes and trust her, and she knows how the system works, and it's good that friend Li started training. Li Xiu told Sister Su Liang it's not evening yet and he's not ready for this matter, and she's rushing things and they have nowhere to rush, and let her calm her hormones. Boss Su Liang slapped Li Xiu in the face. And what is he thinking? And his thoughts and imagination are so corrupted, and she just wanted to help with the system. Sister Su Liang asks her friend Li Xiu to train, and she will stand nearby and watch the training and find out the result, and she is interested. Li Xiu agrees with Sister Su Liang and does not know why it was necessary to take off his clothes, and she scared him. And he was thinking about something completely different and was mistaken. Li Xiu sat on the floor and concentrated energy in his body, and his body got used to such loads. And he will start training and surprise his sister Su Liang. Sister Su Liang, looking at her friend Li Xiu's training, understood a lot, and this was an unprecedented spiritual work, and her friend amazed her, and he was not lying about the system. Sister Su Liang knows that there are 4 books of the Heart Sutra system in the world, but Li Xiu has the 5th book, and she didn't expect that Li Xiu was already ready. Sister Su Liang is in complete shock, and after half an hour, Li Xiu has reached the level of masters and he has incredible strength, and Li Xiu is a unique character. Sister Su Liang realized that this time Li Xiu acted much faster than yesterday, and that is why he boldly threatened the enemy Wang Haoming in their fight. Sister Su Liang noticed, and the body of Li Xiu's friend is mastering techniques very quickly, and he is becoming even stronger and does not know where the limit of Li's strength is. Li Xiu complains to Sister Su Liang, and he stinks a lot after training and therefore did not want to train at the boss's house, and he knew about the substance. Li Xiu quickly went to the bathroom and asked Sister Su Liang to bring him a towel, and he was already obliged to take a shower and wash off the viscous substance. Li Xiu takes a shower, and after training, his body secretes a dark substance, and Sister Su Liang already knows many properties of his body. 5 minutes later, Li Xiu came out of the bathroom and he smelled good, and he was not worried that Sister Su Liang would smell the stinky smell, and that was so important. Boss Su Liang asks his friend Li Xiu to get dressed, and they still have a lot of things to do, and he shouldn't be distracted by trifles and his enemy. Wang Haoming is on guard. But Li Xiu asks Boss Su Liang not to rush, and maybe she will check his body and find out whether he has become a master or not. And this is an interesting activity. Boss Su Liang told her friend Li Xiu not to shout, and they would make it in time, and he had to hurry. And he was a gentleman and knew how to take care of a lady anywhere. Boss Su Liang asked Li Xiu if she could make a promise to her, and Li Xiu didn't want to stand on ceremony with Su Liang, and would do whatever Sister Su asked. Sister Su Liang told Li Xiu that until he becomes very strong, he should not tell his friend that he is a martial artist, and she is not joking. Boss Su Liang told her friend Li Xiu that it is dangerous, and she doesn't want him to die, and therefore she shouldn't tell strangers that he is a fighting master. Boss Su Liang gives his friend Li Xiu a massage, and he deserves a rest after grueling training, and gave his best and surprised Liang. Sister Su Liang told her friend Li Xiu to stop making strange and disturbing sounds, and she wants to help him stretch his body, and this is important. Li Xiu agrees with Sister Su Liang, but he feels good and does not control his sounds, and she is a professional massage therapist and amazes Li's friend. But at that very moment, Su Liang's boss slapped Li Xiu in the face, and she warned him many times and told him to stop talking nonsense and that it was his own fault. Sister Su Liang asked Li Xiu if he remembered what she told him, and if he revealed the secret he would be in serious danger and the enemies would be on alert. Li Xiu promises his sister Su Liang that he will not tell anyone about the system, and he knows how cruel their world is and people will want to know the secret of the systems. Boss Su Liang told her friend Li Xiu that apparently he knows methods to improve his strength, and in that case she doesn't need to explain everything to her friend. Li Xiu listens to Sister Su Liang's words, and he was initially on the right path and immediately asked Su Liang how the special system works. Boss Su Liang asked Li Xiu if he called it a special system, and he gave a good name. And this cool technique is worthy of being called special. Sister Su Liang asked Li Xiu where he got the system from, and a friend said that his sister probably wouldn't believe it. But he has a special system in his blood and he's not lying. Li Xiu said that at first he was just having fun until Wang Haoming attacked him yesterday, and then he began to seriously train his skills. Li Yu said that the methods were useful at the beginning, and that after he becomes strong no one will offend him, and will Su Liang believe this nonsense? Sister Su Liang wondered if the special system had been given to Li Xiu's friend by chance, or if he had made up a story on the fly to distract her. Boss Su Liang told stupid Li Xiu that he was unlucky, and Li Xiu received huge potential along with the system, and we must not forget about it. Li Xiu stands nearby and tells his sister that he was lucky, and the system helped him meet Su Liang's boss, and they became closer to each other. Sister Su Liang pulled Li Xiu's ear and told the chatterbox to go to the store quickly. But Li Xiu asked the boss to wait, and he would ask her something. Li Xiu told Sister Su Liang that he no longer has secrets from her, but he wants to know if his sister wants to tell him what kind of seal she is hiding. Sister Su Liang was surprised by the words of her friend Li Shu, and she had never told anyone about the seal in her body. And when her friend found out about her personal secret, Sister Su asked if Li Shu had seen the seal on her body, and the system that quickly heals people and sees their secrets begins to frighten her. Li Shu told Su Liang's boss that of course he saw the seal on her body, and she lives like an ordinary person because she has this seal on her, and he recognized. Sister Su Liang remembered the seal on her body, and she doesn't like all these days and dreamed of forgetting the past. But how to erase childhood memories? Su Liang sat in a dark dungeon as a child, and she believed in a miracle, and someone would save her, and she would be freed from suffering and what she did to deserve pain. The family tied Su Liang in shackles, and from that moment on, she is not in the Su family, and they are ashamed of her, and she did not fulfill the conditions and disappointed the family. Su Liang wanted to return, and she had to return, and her family did not want to let her go, and the shackles were crushing her arms and legs, but she endured all the torture. Sister Su Liang asked Li Shu if she could not answer this question, and she could not yet tell him stories from her childhood in the family. Li Shu gently hugged his sister Su Liang, and if she doesn't want to tell the secret, let her not say it, and he can wait and will always be by her side. Li Shu believes his power can remove the seal from Sister Su Liang's body, and he is 100% confident and will make every effort for Boss Su. Sister Su Liang is amazed by the promise of her friend Li Shu, and can he really remove her seal? And he gave her hope and thanks to her friend for all his efforts. And then someone called Li Shu, and he thought, who distracted him at the moment when he was so close to Sister Su Liang? And people ruin all their plans. Li Shu answered the call, and the lady said, "Good afternoon to Coach Li Shu. And this is Wang Mei Mei, and she wants to tell Coach something, and it is important." Boss Su Liang is worried, and who called Li Shu's friend and asked what was going on and let him tell the whole truth and what he talked about on the phone. Li Shu told Su Liang's boss that business is going well, and Wang Mei Mei will bring her friends to their fitness club. And with Li Shu's system, she will clearly achieve perfection. The next day, Wang Mei Mei has already brought her friends to the fitness club, and she is happy to see trainer Li Shu and the owner of the fitness club Su Liang there. Li Shu apologizes to the ladies for making them wait, and Wang Mei Mei said they didn't wait long, and Coach Li Shu always arrives on time. Wang Mei Mei told her friends Xu Jia and Wang Ling this, and they immediately noticed the results of her training and decided to come to the fitness club. The system examined the bodies of Wang Ling and Xu Jia, and both have obvious health problems, and they came to Li Shu's training on time. Li Shu said Xu Jia has a bad complexion and needs to stop eating in the evenings, and Wang Ling said special exercises will help get rid of constipation. Li Shu told Xu Jia and Wang Ling that he is their personal trainer and is obliged to notice such things, and he will give recommendations and Su's figure as an example. Xu Jia and Wang Ling are delighted with the figure of the boss, Su Liang, and they both want to be like the mistress, and she has beautiful forms, and Su Liang is cute. Boss Su Liang asked Xu Jia and Wang Ling if they could get 2 fitness club membership cards, and Coach Li Shu would help right away. Wang Ling needs a card for an annual membership to the fitness club. Xu Jia needs a personal trainer for a monthly membership, and Li Shu is strong. A few minutes later, Coach Li Shu brought Wang Ling and Xu Jia to the fitness club and showed them the exercise equipment, and he guaranteed that he would fix the problems. Coach Li Shu asked Wang Mei Mei if she remembered the special exercise he taught her yesterday, and Wang Mei Mei remembered everything and did not forget. Coach Li Shu said the inclination angle is 8 degrees, 10 kilometers per hour, 20 minutes in the pose, and this is a special exercise for Xu Jia. Xu Jia asks Coach Li Shu to tell him the details of the training, and Xu Jia has to jump there like a frog 600 times within 2 hours. Coach Li Shu told Wang Ling to do leg lifts for 10 minutes and crunches 40 times, and then run on the treadmill for half an hour. Xu Jia and Wang Ling are completely shocked by the demands of Coach Li Shu and how they can withstand the load when their body is not ready for the load. Coach Li Shu told Xu Jia and Wang Ling that they hadn't tried it and clearly didn't know anything about training, and let Wang Mei Mei tell them the information. Wang Mei Mei said she jumped rope 50 times and already did 40 squats and repeated the complex 4 times, and it is true. Coach Li Shu told Xu Jia and Wang Ling not to feel sorry for themselves, and that the ladies are capable of a lot, and Wang Mei Mei proved it and believed in the result. After 2 hours, Wang Mei Mei, Xu Jia, and Wang Ling are lying without energy, and the special training has exhausted them, and they believe in Coach Li Shu in everything. Coach Li Shu asks the ladies to go to the bathroom and wash up, and then they will all go to the scales, and he guarantees the training results will amaze everyone. Sister Su Liang brought the ladies water, and they were obliged to drink and coach. Li Shu made them suffer from serious training but helped everyone. Xu Jia hugged Coach Li Shu and thanked her, and she had already lost 5 pounds, and she never expected that the coach would be able to solve the problems. Li Shu congratulated Xu Jia and Wang Ling and asked them not to eat in the evenings, and that this complex should be done 3 times a day, and they understood his advice. Boss Su Liang is happy, and trainer Li Shu knows how to communicate with clients, and they all leave the fitness club satisfied and promise to come back again. Li Shu asks his sister Su Liang to fill out the membership information, and he wants to go to bed. But Su Liang told his friend that he always sleeps and is so tired. Li Shu logged in, and Lulu said good evening to the master, and she is waiting for his instructions and is ready to help in any situation, and Lulu is not lying. Li Shu asks Mini Lulu to help the master find out how many points he received from the system, and the master realized that Mini Lulu is still better than the original. Mini Lulu congratulated Master Li Shu and from Wang Mei Mei. He received 15 points from Shuja and Wang Ling, 80 points each for everything. Mini Lulu told Master Li Shu that since Li Qingyi's figure was perfect in every way, he received few points from training with her. And this is true. Li Shu listens to Mini Lulu's words and asks what he should exchange his 55 points for, and is interested to know what they have in their store. Mini Lulu showed Master Li Shu some special things, but for now the master won't spend system points and will wait for something really useful. And then Katie's manager came to Li Shu, and the coach asked if there was something wrong with the actress Li Qingyi, and to tell her all the information as soon as possible. Katie's manager said Qingyi injured her lower back during filming and is lying down and not moving. And Li Shu said he is not a doctor but a trainer and does not treat. Manager Katie told Coach Li Shu that they called a doctor, but the doctor said that Li Qingyi will always be in a wheelchair and that it's terrible. Li Shu asked Katie if it was really that serious, and the manager said Wang Haoming went north to find a professional doctor for Qingyi. Li Shu thought. From the very beginning it was not Li Qingyi, and she chose Wang Haoming, and he does not want to communicate with her and interfere with the happiness of his friends. Li Shu asks Katie's manager to come back, and he is not a doctor and will not help Li Qingyi. But Katie knows that only Coach Li can save the actress. Li Shu told Katie's manager that he was helpless in this situation and did not want to let Li Qingyi down and give her hope for recovery, that's all. Boss Su Liang asked Li Shu if he was worried about Li Qingyi, why he didn't visit her in person, or he never wanted to see actress Qingyi. Li Shu smiled, and he has not forgotten about Li Qingyi and will not abandon her in trouble. And he knows that Wang Haoming is a villain and is involved in the illness of the actress Qingyi. Li Shu told Sister Su Liang that it was not yet time to shine, and that he would appear at the very last moment spectacularly, and Boss Su understood Li's friend's plans. Su Liang's sister told Li Shu that since he wants to impress the actress Qingyi, they will start training tomorrow, and Li Shu is ready for anything with Su Liang.